Today we are building a $1,000 realistic 2026 gaming PC. So of course, yes, it's going to have DDR4. All right, we'll start with that actually. 3 months ago, a $1,000 realistic gaming PC had 32 gigs of DDR5. Today, it has 16 gigs of DDR4. That is that is literally the difference, which is huge. This is a 16 gigabyte, 3600 megahertz CL18 kit. So it's still a pretty solid kit. I like the 3600 megahertz, and CL18 is not terrible at all. But that is literally the difference there. Because this is about the same price as a 32 gig DDR5 kit 3 months ago. Let me pull up some numbers here. I paid $109 off of Amazon for this 16 gig DDR4 kit. And yeah, I mean, this is more. We were spending about $90 for 32 gig DDR5 kits 3 months ago. Now, $109 only gets you 16 of DDR4. So that is where we're at. That's where we're at. But because we're on DDR4, we got to knock it down to AM4. Okay? Naturally. That way we can save some money. So we got ourselves a B550M motherboard. This is from Gigabyte. This is the Gaming X Wi-Fi. B550 motherboards, thankfully, are at a very good spot. I paid $75 for this, brand new on Newegg. But even if you don't find a deal like this, there are plenty of sub $100 B550 motherboards that aren't even budget, like mid-range boards under $100. So we got that because of the whole Ramageddon issue. But for the CPU, we're not just gonna go with a typical Ryzen 5 5600. In a $1,000 build, even during Ramageddon, I want to sneak in some extra performance in the CPU department. Because a 56, like, you can, 3 months ago, you could build a 5600 build for like $600 or $700. Yes, I know what I just said. Let's move on. So let's bump up those numbers a little bit. We got ourselves an actual fancy Ryzen 7 5800X. I paid, now here's the caveat. This was on an insane deal. I paid $220 for this 5800X, which is actually kind of crazy. I don't know if it was a pricing error or what. That is the price that 5700Xs are supposed to be at, which I will definitely be talking about in the video. A 5800X for $220 is actually pretty crazy. I don't know how, or I don't know why. But either way, 5800X is definitely the play for a $1,000 build in 2026. We got that. For the other component that is obnoxiously overpriced, we have the SSD. Previously, in a 1 terabyte, or for a 1 terabyte SSD, we were paying about $50 for it. A couple months ago, these were actually creeping down to like $48, $49. These days, I actually got this on a really good deal, sadly enough, for $113. If you look on Amazon today, you are not finding this for $113. Minimum $130, and that's actually creeping up as well. 1 terabyte drives are about at the $150 mark right now here in the United States. There's a couple that you can find for like $130, $140, but this at $100. This is the part that's already out of date. I bought this last week at $113. In just that 1 week alone, this is already out of date, which is going to raise our build price by 20 or 30 bucks if you're trying to copy this. This would be about 150 as of today, but so is every other 1 terabyte drive. So it is what it is. This is a good deal that you can find right now. I just checked. It's actually still available. This is the Raid Max Cobra PCIe 5.1 This is a tier C non-modular unit. It is still budget. Don't get me wrong, but for $40, it's a absolutely insane deal for a 650 watt tier C rated unit. As you guys know, I bought 15 of these. All 15 of them have the typo. Yes, you guys are already typing it. Yep. We know all. Dude, I checked. All 15 of them are PICE Gen 5.1. All 15 of them. At this point, I don't really consider it a typo. I consider this, you know, like a limited edition, borderline relic. You know, like when Pokemon cards are misprinted, it's like a big deal and you can get some money for it, I think. According to Reddit. I'm not 100% sure, actually. That's what I think this is. The PICE 5.1. It might be the only set of PICE power supplies that you can find. For the CPU, in a $1,000 build, we got some room for an AIO, and we definitely need an AIO. Well, not definitely, but an AIO is certainly appreciated for a monster power-hungry CPU like a 5800X. So we got the 360mm Aqua Elite ARGB AIO. These do not cost a lot of money. This was $49 on Amazon. We have used this hundreds of times at ZTT. It's a very, very good budget AIO. It's just ARGB, no screen or anything. Installs pretty easily, works great, super reliable. No issues with that. For our case, this is what was under embargo. As I think it dropped embargo like a week ago or something. This is the Lian Li V100R Mini. I actually spoiled this like a couple days before the embargo. This is the micro ATX version of the Lian Li V100. V100R Mini. I've never checked this out before. It looks very clean. I'm excited to use this. I really like the angled look here. We got some art. We got an RGB strip going across here. We got a pretty nice accessory box for a budget case. This costs $65 from Lian Li. I am legitimately excited about this. $65 for a Lian Li fish tank with 4 pre-installed ARGB fans, including 3 of them being reverse bladed. So we got some real attention to detail here. We got a GPU sag bracket built right in. $65. That's actually screaming value. This could be a potential long-term case for me, either with our pre-builts or just like YouTube build guides and stuff. If I enjoy the build today. And then finally for the GPU, in our $1,000 realistic build guide, at least for now, while GPU pricing is good, we got the 16 gig RX 9060 XT. This is specifically the XFX Swift model. 16 gig 2 fan. There's a 2 and a 3 fan. I got the 2 fan. This is a 1440p through and through GPU. So this build is basically going to prove that a $1,000 very powerful 1440p system is still possible in 2026 at that $1,000 price point. But this is definitely about as good as it gets, man. Unless if you buy used parts, because of the only 16 gigs of RAM, the 1 terabyte SSD, you know, AM4, etc. So if you wanted to build this PC right now, you could. Everything is copyable. It would probably be around $1,050 though, because of the SSD, like I said. But this is actually repeatable, at least in the States. Actually a repeatable $1,000 build guide. So let's hope it all goes well. But okay, we're gonna start to handle, not like that. We're gonna start to handle the motherboard a little bit more gently. Basically, when you're handling a motherboard, because I don't do it correctly on stream, you want to do your best. Dude, I have such bad habits. You want to do your best not to touch probably anything on the backside of the motherboard, and instead you want to like push this way on the sides of the motherboard. That way you're not touching anything important. If it has a big IO shield like this, I mean, that's got some bulk. That's not going anywhere, but basically hold it like this. Yes, this is micro ATX. More importantly than me failing at explaining how to be safe with a motherboard, just set it down on your motherboard box. That way, when you push down on things, like when you install the RAM or when you latch down a CPU, or if you're screwing things in or whatever you're doing for the CPU cooler, those sharp objects back here, those go into the cardboard. You can actually easily damage parts of your motherboard if you install it on a hard table. I'm not saying it's gonna happen every time, but it is actually easy depending on the situation for some of these to bend or whatnot if you're on a hard table. So that's why the meta is definitely on the cardboard table, or on the cardboard box, sorry. Okay. Next up, we have our CPU. Again, we're gonna save that sticker for later. With a $1,000 build in 2026, we are now about not maximizing, but improving and going a little bit higher quality on the AM4 builds. So if you missed the intro, this is a Ryzen 7 5800X. I have not installed a 5800X in, I don't know, man, at least a few years, if at all. I don't even know if I ever did. I might have a couple years ago before AM5 came out. I almost never have installed this though. But because of Ramageddon, AM4 is way more relevant. So if we want a higher end AM4 motherboard or AM4 based system, we want a higher end CPU. So I just rotated that 90 degrees. I'm putting my fingers on the outside of the CPU, making sure not to push in and like squeeze those outside pins, because that would be no bueno. But then I'm going to gently set that in here into the socket. All of those pins are going to perfectly match up into the holes of that socket. And then with AM4, there's like virtually no pressure required to latch that down. And that is good to go. Our 5800X is installed after exactly 50 minutes on the clock. Not bad, man. That's not bad. But as of right now, like a $1,000 1440p system is still very possible, because a 16 gig DDR4 16 gig DDR4 kit is around $100, thankfully. But let's see what this obnoxiously overpriced DDR4 sounds like, shall we? Clean. Hey! Hey! Bearded Warlord, I appreciate the 5 tier 1 gifted subs, so I'm kind of in the middle of something here, bro. Give me a second, man. Okay, here you go. Clean. I had to give my employees a paper to fill out for like taxes, where they have to like handwrite a couple things. And after they all submitted it to me, I posted in our company Discord a score rating system of everybody's handwriting. It was a good time, man. Just to keep everybody on their toes, I want everybody to know what I think of their handwriting, and they were publicly, well, not publicly, but within the company judged. I think that's my duty as a boss, to keep people accountable. Who got the worst? It was actually the guy that made the ASMR video, because his handwriting is so bad that he digitally did it. He was the only one that digitally signed or filled it out, because his handwriting was so bad. NVIDIA already renting computers? Yeah, I mean, let's not talk about how renting computer parts could become normal. Because that is not... Oh, I am backwards. That is not really a world that I want to live in. Okay. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. That's all we got to do, man. This AIO is prepped. We have RGB, PWM, PWM, RGB. One thing we want to do is, these are not daisy chained. So what I've been trying to do while you guys send all these gifted subs, thank you, is I just use the the included daisy chain for PWM. So all three of these fans are now connected into this one instead of plugging in all three. I guess we should also, while we are here, daisy chain the RGB as well, because we don't want these cables flopping all over the place. So we will daisy chain this left fan into the right fan, and then we will daisy chain the middle fan into the right fan. That way everything is daisy chained and somewhat organized. And then we will get this mofo zip tie out of here. Why are you using AIM-4 instead of Intel? Honestly, not a particularly strong reason. I am, once again, somewhat pro Intel at this point because of Ramageddon. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with all these cables. I will be making some Intel LGA 1700 content at some point. It's just not this build. Okay, what can I do here? This zip tie's got to go. Jama with the 5 tier 1 gifted subs. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Okay. Dude, this is just getting a little... Yeah, see, this is why I was saying this might not be a smooth build, because there's just so many cables. I think if I just, like, zip tie this whole thing, though, we might be in the clear. Although I do need to... Never mind. I'm not zip tying anything, because I think I'm going to have to daisy chain the pump back to this. Yeah. Dude, I'm not zip tying anything. We're gonna leave that how it is, and we will deal with that problem later. How about that? All right, let's get our Pice 5.1 out here. That's a lot of cables. We will cross that bridge when we get there. Drum with the super chat says, Max Verstappen is the GOAT. Were you rooting for him during the last Grand Prix, or do you just like the song? I was indeed rooting for him. I am a new Formula 1 fan. I've only been watching for 2 years now. I am not a diehard fan of any team or any driver. I feel like I like Ferrari, but I'm not gonna lie, man. Ferrari just sucks. So I don't think that's gonna last too much longer. But during the last 5 or 6 races, I was definitely rooting for Verstappen to make that comeback, just for entertainment purposes. Yeah, I thought that was great. But yeah, I originally said, like, I think I'm gonna be a Ferrari fan, and I bought a shirt. I don't know, man. Ferrari just sucks. What do we need here? I don't even think I need... Do I need SATA power? I don't think so. I'll save one just in case, but let's zip tie a couple things just to get them out of the way. Okay, we need the 24 pin. We definitely don't need a 12 volt. Alright, there's a 24 pin. I'll leave one SATA out just in case. We need a 6+2 GPU power. And we need a 4+4 CPU power. So those are the cables that we will need. These are all extra cables. So because the Pice power supply is non-modular, we will bundle those up and get a quick little zip tie action on them to save some cable management headache later on down the line. How's that sound? Get a scissors and cut off the excess? Yeah, I mean, that'd be taking cable management to the extreme level. I don't know if I'm gonna necessarily do that today. I need these things. But yeah, I mean, if you want to try that, go for it, man. Okay. There we go. All right, power supply is prepped, ready to go. Now we can get the Lego pieces out. All right, let's install this motherboard here. We don't need an I/O shield because it's integrated right into the motherboard. Set that down like so, and yeah, I mean, that's looking pretty nice. I like that. And again, with this only $65 case, that is a pretty healthy little toolkit that we get here with all this hardware. I like that. Or tackle box. That's pretty solid, man. Consider me impressed so far on this case. I am definitely liking what I'm seeing so far. What's the case? It is the brand new $65 Lian Li V100 Mini. The V100 has been out for a while. This is the brand new micro ATX version. So I'm going to install all of these screws. Oh, nope. Nope, I'm missing a standoff. We gotta backtrack. I didn't do my due diligence. Caffeinated vapor with the... Alright, let's backtrack. I was just explaining to my son yesterday, I was like, if we have to uninstall parts, that means we messed up somewhere. Yesterday when we were building, we did not. We made perfect moves throughout the build. We were all good, but I was just saying, in case if we do, that's how you know. So I'm going to uninstall that one standoff that was in the top slot and install it down here. And that's just because of where the hole is on this specific motherboard. Sometimes that standoff is in a good spot, sometimes it doesn't line up. Now, the standoff is in the right spot. So now we can install the screws. Yeah, it's actually really nice, man. I am, as long as the rest of this build goes well, I mean, from what I'm seeing so far, I honestly think that this could be if the availability is there, a long-term case for ZTT builds. I could see us easily switching to this case for a build or two. This is looking real good. It's you making it, so I'm sure it will be good. I appreciate the confidence you have in me, but I feel like you haven't watched a lot of our live streams. There will be issues. I promise. There are almost always issues. Paid chatter. Yeah, thank you though. Thank you for the confidence. What are your thoughts on a 7600X and a 16 gig 9060 XT? If you're willing to pay the DDR5 RAM prices, yeah, it's a great combo. My only recommendation is, I don't know where you live or what prices you're looking at. I would just recommend you look at the price of a 9600X, because if it's only $5 more than the 7600X, I would get the 9600X. But if for whatever reason you're getting the 7600X, that's still a great combo. Okay, all the screws are installed. Okay, oh, and one thing I also want to highlight real quickly before I disassemble this is the starting point cable management wise on this V100. Dude, that's clean, man. I haven't been this excited about a Lian Li case in a really long time. Not that I have anything against Lian Li. This is just some incredible value for 65 bucks, man. All black cables? I mean... Oh, the HD audio is still colored. Everything else is perfectly black. I mean, like, this is a very clean presentation, man. I'm a big fan of this case. Got Velcro everywhere. We got tie down places everywhere we need it. Nice big PSU basement. Again, the reverse bladed fan. Dude, this is nice. This is really nice. Better than the FLP02. Yeah, like this is already better in some ways than the FLP. Now we're gonna mess things up right now. We're gonna completely go full chaos mode with all these cables, unfortunately. Which is why I wanted to show it to you before I ruined it, but it is what it is. We have this cable. This is for the, yeah, let's just get this out of the way first. Or I guess we'll do that later. Let's be disciplined. We'll deal with this later. Okay, let's start plugging in. This is where I'm a little worried about this build. There are going to be a ton of cables in here. Very, very happy that I did not use cable extensions. Which I don't say too often. But this build is definitely going to be cable heavy. But good thing I got some... We got the camera angles for you today. There we go. Boom. I'm going to plug in the USB 3.0. Which is down here. Sorry about the bald spot. That's plugged in. We also got some USB-C action, which is typically, yeah, right here. It's a little bit lower than normal. But we will put that down here. That's the wrong way. Maybe that wasn't the wrong way. There we go. That's the correct way. Plug that in. We got some HD audio, which is always in the bottom left. Plug that in right there. And then we have some front panel action. And just to well document this, again, another dub for Lian Li here, we have the integrated front panel connector, so we don't have to install all of those little individual annoying pins. That is always much appreciated. Courtesy, everybody. And we have a PWM fan connector, which is daisy chained from all 4 fans. And I think I'm just going to plug that down here at the bottom. Like so. Boom. So far, so good. Let's plug in the ARGB connector now for all of the pre-installed case fans. That's going to be, whoops. That's going to be down here, right? Where did I see that? Yeah, there's a 3-pin LED motherboard header that we're going to use. Whenever you plug RGB products into the 3-pin connector on your motherboard, if you choose to do that, that gives you control with software. So that's going to allow us to use either Signal RGB or like the Gigabyte RGB Fusion if we're feeling depressed and want to go down that route. We can use the motherboard's RGB software for that. But I'm going to do that just because we have so much RGB. I'd rather not introduce the SATA adapters and all that. So after all of those cables are plugged in, this is what we're looking like. And we need to start cable managing to some degree here, just so this doesn't get completely out of hand. I don't really have a vision here. I'm just gonna start zip tying things as I go, and we'll see how it progresses and adapt. All right, I'm just gonna start cable managing while hopefully yapping. Actually, I gotta take a bathroom break. Do you skip leg day? No, it looks like I do, but I don't. No, I got legs tomorrow. And I did legs on Sunday, right? Wait, what's today? No, not Sunday. Friday. Yeah, I did legs on Friday, and I got them again on tomorrow. Leg day sucks, man. Yeah, it's the worst. I don't enjoy leg day at all. Absolutely awful. If I go out, I'm wearing jeans. Yeah, I mean, I've been trying to wear joggers more. I also don't go out that often. I don't know what I'm doing here, man. We got some irregular sized cables that I'm just zip tying. Don't think, just zip tie. I think that's the motto. Hey Zach, just tuned in. Welcome. So far the build has gone swimmingly smooth. But things, I don't think they're gonna go bad. It's just they're not smooth anymore. This is the type of build that's gonna have a ton of cables. We have a ton of cables just from the case alone. It's gonna be definitely even more intense once we get this power supply and the AIO installed. This is gonna be a big zip tie day. No Velcro. We got a bunch of Velcro here, but we got Velcro here, here, and here. But we just have so many cables that I feel the need to like control them before relying on the Velcro. Because with Velcro, it's like, unless if it's like perfectly tightened down, like they could become loose and not aesthetic and whatnot. Like I'm using a little bit of, or a lot of bit of zip tie before we even get this Velcro introduced. See, now I can just use Velcro to keep that bundle. I don't know how well you can see that on camera. But it's kind of hard to like cinch down cables with just Velcro. Rams winning the Super Bowl? I could see Steelers versus Rams. I could see that. The old man, the Unk Super Bowl, quarterback Super Bowl. I could see that. Niners all the way. Niners did look good. They definitely got some firepower too. I don't think they're gonna beat the Steelers or anything, but Eagles definitely making it. They're not looking nearly as dominant as they did last year. Zach, wear the helmet in the back? I have before. I think we did a intro to the stream with me wearing that one day. Zach, my brother in Christ, the Steelers are not going to the Super Bowl. Say about that, man. I mean, I think that's a bad take, but you're entitled to your own opinion, man. I think it's crazy if you think they're not. Texans versus Steelers. I don't know. Houston is on a roll. That could be a potential playoff game. That could be the next playoff game. If the Steelers win and get the 4 seed, if they win against the Ravens, they definitely could play Houston in the 5 seed. Yeah, that would be here in Pittsburgh. Yeah, that'd be great. My wife is a Texans fan, so that would be cool. We definitely have to seriously consider going to that one in the playoffs. Rodgers in the playoffs versus Stroud. We got Rodgers all day, man. Happy New Year. Thank you, man. Thank you for the $2 dono. Crystal Gamer with $3 super chat says, what kind of VGA is suitable for a 14400F if the goal is for smaller and light 3D modeling. I don't know what you mean by smaller, man. That's not descriptive enough, but I don't know, like 5060? If you need a lot of VRAM for modeling and you want current gen, then I would try to get a 16 gig card, 5060 Ti. Maybe a 16 gig 9060 XT if you can go with AMD. Somewhere around there. I would maximize your budget with a current gen graphics card. I just don't know what your budget is. Self with the $5 super chat says, built a Vegeta. Don't clip me. I don't know if I said that right. I know who that is, but I don't know if I said it right. Themed computer with a panorama, about $500 worth of Lian Li LCD fans. So happy with it. Appreciate your shorts. It helped me out. Nice, man. Yeah, I bet that looks sick. Post it in the Discord. You said it right. I have never watched a single second of Dragon Ball Z. I was not at the age where that was popular. Not a single second of Dragon Ball Z. I don't know anything about it other than that one dude that I just said. And the over 9,000 thing. Well, I don't know about it, but I know that's a thing. You spared yourself a lot of time. I don't know, man. I kind of feel like I do feel like I missed out on something. I feel like there's a lot of people just slightly younger than me that love that in their childhood. Like I feel like Dragon Ball Z played a significant role in some people's childhood, and I do occasionally feel like I missed out on that one. I don't think I would enjoy it now, but could be wrong, but yeah, no, that one I'm not like, oh yeah, I'm glad I missed that. No, I feel like I missed a little bit. I'm judging you for the DBZ stuff. My like when I was, especially in high school, dude, I didn't watch shows, man. I was playing World of Warcraft or watching sports. Like that was my exclusive TV time. I didn't really watch anything. Okay. That is the cable management for pre-power supply. Right there. That's actually not looking terrible, considering how many things we have plugged in right now. But we still have to add the power supply, and we have to add the entire AIO, which is going to introduce a ton of extra cables. But yeah, so far, not too bad. Not too bad. Let's move on here. Let's get this power supply installed. We're going to go fan down. That way it can intake air through the bottom of the case, of course. Somewhat of a tight squeeze here with these cables, but nothing we can't handle. There we go. A lot of that. Gonna use our our included screws with the power supply. Mount that in there. Shirt is too black. I don't know about that, man. Maybe I'm the only one that's digging the shirt. I'll wear something cool on Thursday. What's the case? This is the Lian Li V100R Mini. I've been talking about it a lot on the stream, and so far, I really like it. $65. I told you 17 times warm honey and lemon helps. Yeah, I'm pretty sure every single time you say that, I also respond saying, yes, I do that. It doesn't work. Or, I mean, it might work. It just doesn't work enough. I have consumed so much honey this year because of my voice. It's just not doing anything, man. Wear a Max Verstappen shirt. I think I wore Max Verstappen last week. The shirt that I have, so. DBZ shirt? I don't have one, but. CPU power cable. How's the electricity bill looking? Probably not good, man. Nine with the one you're building? That's true. That's true. Touche. Let's hope this one works, though. That's not confirmed yet. We have 6 plus 2 Oh, I forgot about the laptops. Yeah, we get 2 more laptops. Yeah. 2 more, like, daily driving laptops. My wife's PC and my PC, or my laptop. Okay. Now I'm just gonna route the GPU power cable up through here, because we will need that for the GPU later. I am going to end up actually not needing this SATA power cable at all. I did not attach this to the bundle because there's always something that you plug in later that requires SATA power, but I don't... Wait, hold on. How is the case getting RGB power? The case has RGB. I wonder if that's just daisy chained. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I don't see anything. Yeah, okay. I don't think we need this. I guess it's just coming from the daisy chained... That zip tie broke. We got all that stuff plugged in, that stuff. Let's do a quick round of zip ties before we install... Or we might not even need zip ties now. Before we install that AIO. 5090 back in the house? Yeah. Yeah, I made a video about it. Or, we live streamed it. Yeah, I've been enjoying the 5090. I actually just used my previous 9070 XT for that sleeper build in the FLP02. That 9070 XT that I used was the same one that I was daily driving for a while. Yeah, let's just cable manage this real quick and then we'll be ready for the AIO. Why did you go back to the 5090? I had this like whole thing that I talked about, but the most important reason was I was really playing Helldivers 2 at the time. It's when Helldivers 2 was going through... Like, Helldivers has phases of player count, and it felt like everybody was playing Helldivers 2 again earlier this year. And I was loving it. It was like my only game that I was playing for a couple months. But at the same time, Helldivers 2 was really struggling in terms of optimizations and performance and whatnot. Okay, that is what the cable management looks like. With the power supply installed. Still pretty good, man. That is not terrible. This could be cleaned up a little bit, but not absolutely awful. Things are going to change with this AIO, though, because we have this rat's nest. But now that I know what I'm doing in terms of cables, it might not be so bad. It's just, I got to somehow daisy chain. So I've already daisy chained the PWM connectors of all 3 fans. That way it all just goes to this one connector to the motherboard. But for ARGB, I got these 3 daisy chained together, but there's also an ARGB connector on the actual pump. So this needs to come back and daisy chain to all these after we install it. So that is what's going to cause a ton of extra cables, because I can't just like bulk all of this up. So I think the strategy is just to install this thing and then feed all of these cables to the back of the case and then deal with it. I think that is the only winnable strategy here. My work is making me transfer. Hopefully I get Houston or Texas. Houston's the spot to be at, man. Apparently. Gabriel with the $5 super chat says, I had to buy my 5090 in Ecuador and bring it to CT. Is that like Connecticut? Because there was no 5090 available here in February when I bought it? What? I don't know what CT you're referring to. It's probably not Connecticut. But nice. I'm glad you got your GPU. Okay, here's what I can do. This can all... Yeah, that's what I need. Yeah, that's what I need right there. And then this... Okay, here we go. Now we're cooking with fire. This is what needs to be daisy chained. Right here. Oh, look at that. That's actually beautiful. I know it's not really focusing. Focus? I have this whole bundle of cables here. That way all of these cables feed into the back of the case just with one little cable bundle here. Could you ever stop making the giveaways? Are you asking me to stop? What? You don't want giveaways? I'm confused. You don't want giveaways? I kind of like the giveaways, man. One thing that I actually really like about the giveaways, other than the increased viewership, is it gives me an excuse to build a PC that I normally wouldn't build. Like, we've been typically trying out cool cases or part combinations during the giveaway PCs, because it doesn't have to be like a perfectly tuned price to performance build guide or something that's YouTube friendly. We can just try new things. Spacey Airy again with the $20 super chat says, like the stream. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Do you guys remember how much DDR5 cost when it came out? DDR5 was very expensive when it came out. If a new DDR comes out, it's not going to be cheap, man. And it's still going to be fighting. It's still going to be fighting the exact same supply issues. You know? It's not just like, oh, it's DDR6. We'll produce it now. We going back to DDR3? I think that can happen before an AI bubble pops. All right, just installing some screws here for this AIO to mount up top here. I do always install the 2 farthest corner screws before I let go of it. I don't want this GPU or the AIO to hang just by one screw. That could cause some damage. But once you get 2 screws up there, then it's at least in there tight enough that you don't have to hold it. I remember when prices were like $120 for 32 gigs of DDR5. Dude, that was like 3 months ago. I think every single person here remembers that. That was not like ancient times. That was August. LTT screwdriver? Yes, sir. Connor with $10 super chat says, wanted to know if there's any reason not to go with a Ryzen 7 7700 versus the 7600X when I only game and I have a Linux distro in a partition. I don't really think the partition part is super relevant. I would weigh the factors of why you want the 7700 and then get that if that's what you come to the... Like, I can't really answer that for you. I think a 7600X is perfectly fine for what you're saying. If you only game and you're running Linux, like you could do that with a 7600X. A $580 budget is the XT and the 5070. So if you have it narrowed down to those two things, then it's just, do you want AMD or do you want NVIDIA? Both of them are very, very good graphics cards. If you think that you're really going to value ray tracing, then get the 5070. 9070 XT at Micro Center for $580? Oh my god. Well, if you can do that, then do that. Yeah, I don't check Micro Center prices. If you can do that, that's the, out of everything that just came out of my mouth, that is the very best deal right there. If you can get a 9070 XT for $580. Yeah, we have a serious problem. So all of that planning that I tried to do via cable managing was stupid because I put the bulk of the cables up towards the front of the case, and I'm just now realizing that there's no place for all of these cables at the front of the case to be routed to the back side of the case because we have those three fans up there. Very dumb. So I think the easiest solution is actually to uninstall the entire AIO, uninstall those zip ties, and rebundle them to be in the middle. That way I can route all of those cables, because this is definitely not going to work. Like I was saying at the beginning of the stream, you know you messed up when you have to uninstall something. I could fix this without doing it, but I think it'd be quicker just to redo it. Rookie mistake? I mean, if you want to put it like that, go for it, but that's fine. Luke Man with the $20 super chat says, I already make YouTube content, but I recently got back into PC building and would love to make a PC building channel. My advice for any YouTube channel is to ask yourself at least 10 times per video, am I providing enough value? We say the word value and talk about value every day at ZTT. Every build, every decision, every video is how can we provide value? You know, when I make videos, I don't think like, oh, this is a viral video, you know, or like, I mean, sometimes there's like small hidden agendas, but you can only get to hidden agendas if you provided value in the first place. So no matter what type of channel you start, focus on providing value. The value could be education, which is what I typically try to do. The value could just be entertainment, which is what other creators try to do. Just focus on delivering value. Hopefully that helps. Best of luck, man. Okay. Can you guys see what, I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here. But yeah, all of the cables were bundled all the way up here. We're going to move that to all the way over here. I'm going to try not to snip any important cables. I really made those zip ties super tight, but okay. So now I'm going to bring this bundle back over to here, and that way it's kind of bundled like this. Yeah. Actually, I'm going to go even farther than that. I'm going to go down to this one. Right here. I'm going to bundle everything right here. That way it can easily go to the back of the case. Rookie mistake. Apparently. Who is the, which PC building, not tech, which PC building content creator, don't say ZTT whether it's true or not, do you watch the most? Like shorts, long form, podcasts, whatever. Which specifically PC building YouTuber or content creator do you watch the most? ZTT is not a valid response for this question. Mr. Yeaster isn't being mentioned enough? Yeah, I mean, he's PC building, but he's not like PC build guide, right? He's more like PC building experiments. Which is, there's nothing wrong with it, but if you need like PC building help, I don't know if that would be enough. He can definitely give you some cool ideas for some projects though. Unless if I'm wrong, I don't know if he does build guides. I could be wrong on that. When I think of him, I just think of like thermal paste obviously, but PC builder with Jason because that is my name as well. That's valid. This is not working. I had this perfect plan to route this zip tie. It's just not going as smoothly as I was hoping. There we go. Scattervault, nice. KJ? KJO? Nice. Carter doesn't even know how to really build PCs? I mean, Carter definitely knows how to build a PC. Meta. Nice. Who said white Carter PCs? Tech source. Mr. Matt Lee's build videos are top tier. I do really like Mr. Matt Lee's videos. His are really good. I use him often for inspiration of like camera work, videography, etc. He's very, very good. Yeah, he's great. Who's the other guy that really likes cable management? Not Meta, the other guy? Really likes cable management? I don't know. Who really likes cable management? Okay. Let's try this again. Hardware Haven is peak lab home labbing content. I agree. I had a impromptu lunch with Hardware Haven. It was at LTX, the Linus Tech Tips Expo. What was that, like 2 years now or something? And we were just getting lunch, and I think we both like halfway recognized each other. But I ended up sitting down with him and I think his wife or something. But we had lunch together and we're just jamming about YouTube. Yeah, he's a cool dude. I like his videos for home lab stuff. Read donations. It's Kit with the 510 biddies says, "You're amazing, Zach. Thank you for being an inspiration. Thank you for watching, man. I appreciate it. And for the donation." Zetrus with the $3 dono says, "RBN hardware." Come on, man. Oh man, you spent $3 for that joke. I don't hate it. I don't hate the play. That's not that. That was $3 well spent. Not bad. I don't think it's a driver issue, and if you have no video whatsoever, it's like if you can't get if you don't see your BIOS splash screen, then it's not a driver issue. You should get at least some video. Thigh reveal? Yeah, sorry about that. Don't be clipping. It's winter time, man. The thighs are looking a little pale. Monitor doesn't even turn on with it. Yeah. Yeah, put the 6650 XT back in there, and if it works right away, then I would lean towards it is actually a GPU problem. A lot of people that won, though, the majority of people that have won have had less than 10 tickets, though. It is not like somebody with 100 tickets wins every time. That's not the case at all. What happened with the giveaway PC build? we had all of those dark flash issues. If you were there for the stream, don't really feel like explaining it all. We are rebuilding it this Thursday, in 2 days from now. We are rebuilding the giveaway PC. So we'll have pictures and everything finally. We've never had this before happen for a giveaway PC. We've never had to rebuild the giveaway PC. It's always just been built, and then we have pictures for the entire month, and then we're all done. But this, yeah, we've had quite a few issues. So yeah, we're gonna redo it on Thursday. What is the specs for this 1K PC? We got a 5800X. Realistically, it's going to be a 5700X, though. I just found an insane deal. 16 gigs of DDR4. We all know why. And a 16 gig 9060 XT. Are you going to stop including RAM in the giveaway PCs? No. No. I mean, we have RAM. RAM availability is still, like, not terrible. I mean, we have... I'm not going to say how many, but we have a lot of RAM, man. I mean, for the pre-builts and whatnot. You can buy RAM if you want it. It's just insanely expensive. I'm not going to build PCs without RAM, man. I'm not an animal. We are finally starting to see some progress here. Dude, I knew this part was going to take forever. Where is that RAM port? I got to get this. Oh, dude, I might have to redo this again. Oh my God, I think I do. Oh, no, I don't. No, I don't. Oh my God. Oh my God. I just saw somebody... I saw a couple people say dub leader, dub employer, dub boss, etc. This is what you call a dub employee right here. Oh my God, dude, I was so happy. One of my employees, I did not know. I just found this out right before the stream started. One of my employees threw this RGB cable extension / splitter into my little tub. I take home... This is what I take home every day for a live stream. We got a tub. This is Zach's tub. It's broken a couple times, as you can see, with the duct tape and all that. And that's what I use to take home parts. And I always double and triple check what parts I have. And just, it's up to me. Like, I got to make sure we're all good to go. But somebody, one of my employees, threw this in here after I checked it, because I didn't even notice I had it until I got home. And I was just so excited, because it's like, that is somebody on the team not even telling me what they're doing. They're just like, hey, Zach might need this. And it's just like, it's like looking out for each other, you know? And I love that proactiveness, you know, not even trying to get credit for it, not being like, hey, Zach, I gave this to you just in case. It's like, no, it's just somebody like looking out for me, the stream, finishing the build, etc. Like, oh man, I was so excited as soon as I saw that. And sure enough, this part is going to come in insanely clutch. I would have had to uninstall that AIO. Now I don't have to. Yeah, that's great. Good team vibes? Yeah, good team vibes for sure, man. That's awesome. That's an employee who believes in the company. Yep. And, I mean, that one we already have figured out, though. Not to be ungrateful. We have several employees moving their entire lives from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania down to Houston. That is what shows me that they believe in the company, because that is insane on a couple different levels, man. That's why I can't do RAM giveaways, though. The RAM is for them. They're moving their entire lives for ZTT. I'd do that move. You say that, man, but that's your entire life. Okay. Let's let's continue this. This is looking pretty good. But now it is time for the AIO. So this is going to install... What do we want to do? Like this? Wait. I always forget the orientation of the Thermalright logo. It's like this. So we want it to be... Oh my god, you guys weren't looking at any of that, dude. My dome was in the way on that one. I'm sorry. We're gonna install it like this, because that is the proper orientation of the Thermalright logo. They did include some Thermalright thermal paste, which we will use. Might as well. Got some TF7 action here. Wow, they did not give a lot, though. Just enough. That is not a pretty dot, but that's because I had to press down very, very hard. Because that thermal paste tube is pretty much empty. Let's definitely uninstall this. We are removing the plastic shield. Oops. Wow, now I just removed... Whoa, wow. We are removing the plastic shield. I repeat, we are removing the plastic. The plastic is no longer on. Don't tell me that I forgot it. It is definitely off. And now... Is this right? Dude, I feel like I messed this up. These screws need to be a little bit looser. You forgot it? Thank you. Because this is the type of latching mechanism where we have this square right here, which you can see like that. We got that little square there, and we got this little square at the top, and these are going to wrap around and over the plastic bridges that came with the motherboard. Oftentimes you remove these plastic bridges here. You have to remove it so you can install the mounting solution for the AIO. But this one, oh yeah, see, that was not on there. This one just uses what the motherboard came with. It is a little bit easier. It's not necessarily the best mechanism though. Now we just want to make sure we don't twist the tubes the wrong way. But it's going to install like that. And it can sometimes be a little tricky to get these perfectly wrapped on here. Because once you get down in here, I don't want to take it off because now the thermal paste is spreading everywhere. And the tighter the case is, the more difficult this is. But thankfully, I've done this a couple times. There we go. Now they're both latched, so I'm going to squeeze this way. That way they don't unlatch. And I can just tighten both these screws. I'm not going to tighten them down all the way. I'm going to go back and forth to evenly apply that pressure. But now it's at the point where it's not going to snap off. And then we just tighten it all the way down until it stops. And then that is latched down on the CPU. Just like that. Did that make sense? Dub tutorial during ads? Dude, I tried, man. They missed out on that one. Yep. I usually try to stop, but I didn't see that. That one I messed up. Not a bad looking case at all. Dude, I tell you what, man. This is... I'm trying to come up with something I don't like about the case. I mean, it's tight. It's a small micro ATX case. This case would have, or this PC would have been built quicker if this was a bigger case. Like the size of this case, especially like up in this region up here, is definitely slowing me down. But that's not a downfall. That's just what the case is. Dude, I really like this case, man. I really like this. Weird IO placement. That's a Lian Li. Yeah, this is a Lian Li case, man. Like, this is... I mean, no shot at budget cases, but, like, this is still Lian Li quality we're talking about here, man. I like the floating case. Not me, man. That one wasn't for me. I do ironically have an extra floating case that I am not using nor will use. Okay, I'm just plugging in some RGB connectors with that new little hub that I attached. And then after that, I'm gonna turn on the PC real quick and before I install the GPU and just make sure that all the RGB is plugged in correctly. AIO is on, the fan is on, the fans are... Did I plug in the PWM yet? No. I gotta plug in the PWM. Oh, wait. Oh no, I'm out of fan ports. I'm out of fan ports. Thankfully, we got one of these though. This is a 5-port PWM fan hub, which I need. Yeah, this motherboard is out of fan ports. This is gonna make the cable management a little bit less fun, but yeah, there's only a CPU fan header on this motherboard. There's not a CPU and pump, which is pretty interesting. This is a slightly older B550, I guess, but UFD tech talk about AI are taking planes? What? What is UFD tech talking about? What? Even my B450 has that? Yeah, I'm surprised not to see that on here. That's kind of weak. Okay. Alright. Everything is plugged in other than the GPU. Before I go to town on cable... Dude, it's getting late, man. We gotta hurry this up. Before I go to town on plugging in the GPU and all this cable management, what we're looking for now is that all 7 fans spin and 8 RGB products actually, 9 RGB products actually light up. That is the goal. Ooh. Oh, dude. Dude, this is my new favorite case. All right, don't be looking at it for too long, man. Oh, dang. Dude, come on. This might be the real deal. I don't know why it's not turning off, though. That... Oh, it did turn off. The lights just didn't go out. Dude, this might be the real deal. That looks good. Yeah, there's a significant delay in that RGB going off. That looks good, man. Yeah, wow. That stripe going down the case. Come on, dude, I'm so excited, man. This is a great case. I might have to ask Lian Li if we can buy a bunch of them. I really like it. How's the noise level? I didn't hear anything. Okay. So we know everything's plugged in correctly. So now all we got to do is cable manage, which is an absolute rat's nest. But let's do what we can. There's not going to be too much left to do, actually. $65 for all that's a steal? Yeah, I mean, that is a lot of aesthetics. And function for a $65 case, man. Thanks. Still savable. Not a complete waste of a zip tie. Okay. 7 aesthetics points. Sorry, my bald spot keeps getting in the way. Okay, there we go. Now that's starting to come together. Now we can use this Velcro. Like so. Start putting that all together. Like that. This, probably not a whole bunch we can do. That I don't need. Just gonna keep that in there for now. Like that. Maybe one zip tie to keep some things a little tidy here. I'll give an 11 aesthetic score, unlike Linus. Thank you. I mean, somebody's got to do it, right? We're not animals here that don't have aesthetic scores. I think I'm good. Thanks for the tech tip. That's my turf was a good line, unscripted. I know, man. It was so good. What's your favorite build this year? The Darnell Washington build. Not the physical build. I actually wish I could redo some of the parts for his build, but that was during the GPU shortage, so we did what we could. Where did that PC? Oh, down here. But building a PC with a Pittsburgh Steelers is that's peak for me. For someone like me. It doesn't get much better than that, man. Alright, GPU going in. Dude, that's starting to look real good, man. That's starting to look real good. We need some zip tie action for this, though. What's your thoughts on the Moza R5? I think it's a great entry-level sim racing setup. I don't know much about the competition, but Moza sent me an R5. That was my first, other than my Logitech G27, which was very old. That was my first direct drive sim racing setup. And yeah, I mean, the R5 is amazing. I have an R9 now, but it's like just a little bit extra power, not a big deal. Yeah, the R5 is good, man. For a budget entry-level sim racing setup. Yeah, it's really good. In my opinion. GPU went in during ads. My bad. I'm doing a bad job of tracking the ads today. Sorry. Feel like I'm usually a tad bit better. Not much, but Caffeinated Vapor says, Zach, I'm heading out. Hope you had a good night. I did, man. Thank you so much for all those gifted subs, man. That was insane. How many, dude? How many gifted subs today? I don't think I can easily see that number until after the stream, but you guys went off. My God. That was an insane night of gifted subs. You guys are absolutely ridiculous. All right, I'm just going to install these 2 screws down here real quick to secure that GPU. Dude, this is... I am very, very happy with this case. What GPU and why? This is the 16 gig 9060 XT. Why? I think it's probably your best possible GPU with a brand new parts build for $1,000 in 2026. Yeah, this is it. This is the final cable management. Honestly, I mean, that is a ton of cables, but that really doesn't look as bad as I thought it would. That is some serious bulk of cables, but not that bad. And then we have the, what orientation is this in? We got all this airflow in the back of the case too, because of this side panel. How does this, wait, no, that's not right. Is it this way? No, wait, it's gonna be this way. No, it is definitely not this way. Oh, it's got to be this way because of the fans. There we go. Yeah. We got all this airflow action because of the fans. We got some airflow at the bottom here. Dude, let's turn this on, man. I can't change the color because it's plugged into the motherboard. We would need to... I mean, I'll be able to, just not tonight. Because the RGBs are controlled via the motherboard and the software. But like, dude, come on, man. Once these RGBs turn on... I love this case, man. Sneaky, insane value. This is the $1,000 realistic gaming PC for 2026. I am going to be making a long-form YouTube video about this. The final specs. We got to go AM4 because it's DDR4. This is a Ryzen 7 5800X. Again, I got a crazy deal on that. Most likely, if you're going to try to copy this, it'll be a 5700X. B550 motherboard. 16 gigs of DDR4, because we know. 1 terabyte SSD, again, because we know. 16 gig RX 9060 XT. And we got the Lian Li V100R Mini. Also got a 650 watt Raid Max Cobra power supply in there. Yeah, that's what a realistic $1,000 build is going to be in 2026, at least for the next week or so. The good thing is this is still going to be an extremely capable 1440p gaming PC. So it's still possible at the $1,000. It's just $1,000 is not what it used to be in PC hardware. But it'll still be good enough for 1440p gaming for sure. It's going to be a beast.